Welcome. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most reality-bending narratives in the entire Zohar. We're talking about the sudden, the impossible, the absolutely instantaneous ascent of Joseph. So let's start where the story starts, in the dark. We're in the bore, the pit. And this isn't just a hole in the ground. I want you to feel it. It's a place of absolute concealment, the feel of damp stone, crushing silence, where all potential, all hope is just forgotten. And then, out of nowhere, you get the verse that changes absolutely everything. Vayishlach Paro vayigra et Yosef. And Pharaoh sent and called for Joseph. A sudden summons. Not from a guard, not from the warden, but from the highest authority in the entire world. And just like that, in an instant, you can almost hear the ropes descending. He's lifted from the damp earth and pulled into a blinding palace light. His prison garments, gone. Exchanged for the finest linen. His whole presence is transformed. And then, he's standing right there, before the king.
Okay, so how do we even begin to unpack a transformation like that? Well, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to journey through the pardes, those 4 levels of mystical meaning. We'll start with the story on the surface, then we'll pull back the curtain and reveal the divine override that's really at play. After that, we're going to map the cosmic mechanics, decode the incredible secrets hidden in the text, and then finally, and this is the most important part, we'll bring this ancient principle right into our own modern lives.
So, look, the story we all know, it's just a story of a radical, unbelievable reversal of fortune. One minute, Joseph is a totally forgotten prisoner, right? And the very next, he's interpreting destiny for the most powerful man on the planet. But the Zohar tells us, hold on, this isn't just about getting lucky. This is a revelation of a hidden cosmic law. That's exactly right. You know, in the Zohar, the pit is so much more than a physical place. It's a state of being. It's what the mystics call malchut in concealment, a kingdom of potential that is completely hidden. I want you to think about it like this. The divine soul, the neshama, is trapped inside the dense, heavy physicality of the world, the guf. The light is there. It's burning bright, but you just can't see it. And that right there brings us to the central question of this whole story. How can a soul or a person or an entire reality make a leap like that? It seems to completely violate all the rules of cause and effect, of slow, gradual progress. Well, here's the secret. The soul doesn't escape through the gates. The gates are sealed. No, it's elevated by a force that operates completely outside the standard rules. This force has a name. It's called Ratzon, which we translate as divine favor. But it's more than that. It's like a root-level command that bypasses the entire system of consequence and limitation. It's a desire that comes from the very essence of the Godhead. And when that desire is expressed, the normal laws of spiritual nature are just suspended so that it can be fulfilled.
Right, so this idea of an override is absolutely key. To really get our heads around it, let's use a modern analogy. Just imagine for a minute that all of reality, everything you see and don't see, is a vast, incredibly complex operating system.
Okay, so in this analogy, Joseph in the pit is like a software process that's been flagged as a threat and thrown into a deep system quarantine. It's completely isolated, right? No permissions, cut off from all system resources. It's been totally sandboxed. The prison walls, the guards, those are the firewalls, and the system protocol is designed to keep it contained. Now, Pharaoh's dream, that's the system-critical error. It's the blue screen of death for the entire kingdom, and no other process can solve it. So what happens? The call for Joseph is the divine will issuing a root-level command. It's an override that ignores all the firewalls, all the protocols. It's basically like typing sudo in the divine terminal. It executes with the highest possible privileges, and it pulls Joseph directly from the sandbox to the system's core. And that just illustrates the suddenness of it all so brilliantly, doesn't it? This is not a gradual parole hearing. It's not about earning good behavior credits over time. It is an instantaneous promotion from the most isolated, low-priority corner of the system to the absolute core of its operations, handed full administrative rights over everything. Okay, now let's zoom out and see how this whole thing plays out on the cosmic map. Because Joseph's journey isn't just random chance. It is a precise activation of the Sephirot, the divine emanations that actually structure all of reality. So here's the crucial point. Joseph's very essence is the Sephirot of Yesod, the foundation. This Sephirot is the divine channel, the conduit that connects the upper spiritual worlds with our physical world, which is Malchut. In fact, the Zohar calls Joseph a river that irrigates everything below. So his imprisonment wasn't just his problem. It was a fundamental blockage of this channel, causing a spiritual drought for the whole world. His release wasn't just about setting him free. It was about restoring the flow of divine abundance to everyone, represented by Egypt. Exactly. The mystical texts, like the Etz Chaim, they explain that Yesod has this unique power. It can actually ascend to the highest levels to draw down new spiritual input. This is exactly what the Zohar means when it says, Yosef ihula elav ihula tata. Joseph is above and he is below. He has this incredible ability to connect the highest spiritual source, what we might call da'at, or consciousness, with the lowest physical manifestation. So Joseph's ability to interpret dreams, that was him accessing this higher consciousness, this divine source code, to bring a real solution down into Malkut, into the kingdom of Egypt. His descent into the pit was actually the prerequisite for this ultimate ascent. He had to go to the lowest point of Malkut to create the vacuum that would pull down the highest light. But it gets even deeper, because beyond the whole structure of the Sephirot, the Zohar embeds the story with secret codes, with numbers and colors that reveal even deeper layers of this process. This isn't just a story, it's a mathematical and alchemical formula for redemption. Yeah, these numbers are anything but arbitrary. The Zohar links the 7 fat cows to 7 holy spiritual levels, these emanations of pure abundance. And the 7 lean cows? They are their direct counterparts in the realm of concealment, the forces of lack. But the number 13, that's the real key. It references the 13 channels of superconscious compassion that flow from a level completely beyond our normal understanding. It is this incredible force, opened up by the divine Ratzon, or favor, that allows the entire override to happen, bypassing the strict laws of judgment that kept Joseph locked away. And this timeline, it shows a true spiritual alchemy. It's amazing. Kabbalistic texts on color symbolism, like the Pardes Rimonim, show how Joseph's journey literally mirrors a transformation through these foundational spiritual energies. He begins in the black of the pit, which is the color associated with absolute judgment and a hidden kingdom. The false accusation that put him there is represented by red, the color of strict judgment, of din. But the call from Pharaoh initiates this total purification, which is represented by white, the color of chesed, of loving kindness, as he's washed and dressed in new linen. And finally, he is elevated to a state of gold, the color of royalty and revealed divinity, manifesting the highest spiritual reality right here in the physical world. Now, I know this is all incredibly profound, but how do we share this? How do we talk about it? The incredible beauty of these teachings is that they're fractal. They can be translated into any language for any generation because the underlying structure is absolutely universal. Exactly. It doesn't matter if you see it as unlocking a new level in a game or reprioritizing a process in a cosmic system, the core principle is identical. So for the gamer in your life, you've been hit with a major debuff, you're nerfed, and trapped in a bugged-out solo dungeon. Divine Favor is the game master using a dev console command to instantly teleport you to the throne room, equip you with legendary gear, and make you the guild leader. For the Cosmic Engineer, a vital process has been isolated and demoted. A root command triggered by a system-wide crisis bypasses all security protocols and elevates that process, giving it full control over all system resources to resolve the crisis. It's an external, higher-level intervention that completely redefines the status and capability of an element within the system. This isn't magic, you see, it's a higher order of physics. So why? Why does this ancient story, decoded through layers of mysticism, matter to us today? Why spend all this time on Sephirot and technologies? Because it contains a living, breathing blueprint for our own lives. And this right here might be the most powerful takeaway of all. Your greatest limitation is actually the seed of your greatest strength. Think about it. The power for Joseph's redemption was forged in the pit. If he hadn't been in the pit, he never would have been there to interpret the dreams of the butler and the baker, which was the crucial link in the chain that led to Pharaoh. He didn't just survive the pit. He transformed the pit into the very key that would unlock the palace. The Zohar teaches that the greatest light shines specifically from within the deepest darkness. And listen to that distinction. It's not that light shines despite the darkness, but because of it. Our challenges, our pits, those moments of failure, of isolation, of despair, they are not punishments. They are the precise, custom-designed environments that are necessary to reveal a level of divine connection and personal strength that is utterly impossible to access in the light of day. So we want to leave you with this thought. The story of Joseph is not just about him. It's a living principle. It's a cosmic law. It's about the divine override that is waiting to be activated in each and every one of us.
So I ask you to look at the places of greatest confinement in your own life. That job, that relationship, that personal struggle that feels like an absolute prison. That is not an obstacle to your destiny. According to this profound teaching, that is precisely where the call to your greatness is waiting to be heard. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share. Which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments? We'll see you in the next chapter.